All right, so welcome everyone to Sky. Thank you for coming to our virtual lifestyle Q&A session. And so today we'll be talking about online schooling and the virtual lifestyle. And my name is Julian Alexander Wang, and I'll be running through this PowerPoint. It's a short PowerPoint. So let's dive right into our topic. So our topic for today will be about online schooling, the online lifestyle, and then near the end we will be taking some questions. And by the way, guys, this is all from personal experiences. And my brother and I have been homeschooled all our lives, and recently we enrolled in an online high school. So we are your resources, and you're gonna get all the information from us, from what we have experienced, what we have faced through on our daily lives. And so hopefully we can all learn something at the end of the day. So let's talk a little bit about who we are. My name is Julian Alexander, and this is my brother, Brennan Pearson Wang. Hello. And we've been homeschooled all our lives. And in September, we enrolled in an online high school called George Washington University Online High School. And George Washington University partnered with K-12. And so they made this amazing high school, and we've been in it for some time now, and it's been great, honestly. And outside of the classroom, we have a busy life. We play competitive sports. We do online and in-person music lessons, and we also travel a lot. So the flexibility in our school is really great, and it allows us to have the opportunity to do all the stuff we like to do, and it also gives us the opportunity to hold these Sky classes. And we founded Sky in 2019, and it's been a great journey ever since. And so I want to give all of you a little rundown about what SKAI is. SKAI stands for Sagacious Kids Aiming to Inspire. And we are a social venture inspiring education through peer-to-peer learning. And we're purely nonprofit, and we're giving back to the community. And our mission is basically to make education and learning fun. And we do this through peer-to-peer learning and team-to-team sharing and learning. But there are no teachers, no adults, and we usually hold in-person classes. But due to COVID-19, we are going into the online world where we're going to webinars, and I know that a lot of parents and students are considering online school because of this whole pandemic crisis. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And just to give everyone a gist of how our classes are usually structured and the peer-to-peer interaction that we usually get in the classes, we have a short video here to show you of one of our prior classes on poetry. All right.
Let me go first. Every single place you see, another was perspective of me. You always seem to see me in gray, even when I'm having my best day. I laugh and joke and I'm positive, but you act like I have no prerogative. Anytime I make a simple mistake, you act like I blew up the place. Alrighty, nice.
croissant like no other. Your delicious flavors make me stutter. I cannot believe how lucky I am when I bite into that juicy ham. For dinner, you made rice and beans with a side of cheesy mac and cheese. You fill my belly with cake for dessert. Suddenly, my intestines start to hurt. The world went black. I hurt myself hard, and I grabbed a bag of Takis as I felt my life depart.
The way we decide who wins is by the amount of cheering each team gets, okay? And everyone for Team Louie Zooey. Yeah! All right, one more round, ready? Team Roll Risers. Team Louie Zooey.
Skies. So I'm Sky, and God bless you all in Sky. Sky, 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 Sky. We're all skies. Sky.
So that was a short video of one of our prior classes on poetry, and so that was really fun. That was really exciting. So that was one of our most successful classes on the peer-to-peer learning and interaction. And we have a few of those participants here today with us. So we're really grateful that they came. And so let's get into typical virtual life schedule. Now, this is my typical schedule. This is what I do most of the time. And so online school is very similar to traditional school. Subjects are the same: math, English, history, science, Chinese language courses, and journeys. Journeys is a more goal-oriented class, and it's meant to help students prepare for college. And my earliest class is at 9:30 a.m., and my latest is at 12 p.m. And it goes from about Tuesday to Thursday, and they also have 1 hour help desk sessions, and that goes from like Monday to Friday. And so those are always helpful if you have questions or whatnot. And I also participate in my school clubs. I'm in my debate team. I write for my school newspaper. I play in my chess club. And so there's a lot of social interaction in there. And I also do online and in-person music lessons each week, guitar and piano. I play competitive chess and tennis. I'm also a black belt in Taekwondo, and we go pretty often. So, along with the flexibility that we're always getting, that doesn't discredit the amount of work we get in an online school. It is very tough. We're always getting homework from Monday to Saturday. Days are packed with classes, lessons, and sports, and by the end of each day, I'm exhausted. So the flexibility allows you to set your own schedule, build your schedule, and the freedom allows you to work anywhere. I could be on vacation and still do class. Rather than in a traditional school, you kind of have to be inside a classroom. There really are no boundaries like that. And there are some preconceived notions about socialization. And that's kind of not true. Some say that homeschoolers or online schoolers may be timid, they're shy, they don't have enough socialization. I mean, online schoolers do not have a lot of physical interaction, but we do have a lot of virtual interaction. And I know my debate team, we have meetings every Monday and Friday every week, and we debate each other, and we have Skype group chats. And I go to tennis tournaments, I go to Taekwondo tournaments, I go to chess tournaments, and I'm also on the JTT team, which is the junior team tennis team. And so, we get that physical interaction from the flexibility, the extracurricular activities that we do. And so, that's one of the myths debunked here. And so, we do get a lot of socialization. And so, yeah, that's one of the myths that needs to be debunked, because not all homeschoolers are shy. So real world experiences with this lifestyle. So real world experiences with this lifestyle. So flexibility is one advantage. I can get up and sleep late. My earliest class is at 9:30, but I wake up like right on the dot or 2 minutes before because my class is like literally one click away. It's very accessible, and I can go to class while eating lunch on the ski slopes, and I can plan out my own day. So I have the freedom, I have the independence to do that, and I have the flexibility to do that. Technological education. What I mean by that is I'm always on the computer. I'm always doing assignments, and my teachers require you to do assignments on software applications. And software applications, I mean by Word docs, PowerPoints, Excel sheets. I'm able to create this PowerPoint with the prior experiences that I've faced and experienced. And so over time, you get so much more comfortable with these applications. It's very easy to do, like iMovie and all that stuff. So that's one of the advantages, and that's one thing that I like. Virtual and physical interaction. Like I said, on my clubs, we create Skype group chats, and we're always contacting each other. Sometimes we're always debating each other, and there is less physical interaction. But I get that physical interaction from sports. Like I said, I do a lot of competitive sports, so I go to tournaments, and so you get that socialization out of those. Intensive learning. There is a lot of school workload. With the flexibility, we do get a lot of assignments, and their system is made for each student to be always behind. So I'm always catching up on assignments, and there is a lot of workload, and there is a lot of classes. So you have to be very focused, and you have to intensively learn to get all of your assignments done by the end of the semester or by the end of each deadline. And those are always stressful, but you also need to have self-motivation. And self-motivation, you need to be disciplined and you need to be motivated. In an online school, you have to have those kind of skills, or else you won't really succeed. There are no external forces trying to push me other than my parents. There is no teacher telling me to do this or that assignment. So it's really dependent on me. The education I get out of that school is dependent on how much I want to learn. So in order to get good grades, it's really a self-study kind of system. Time management. You need to be organized and you need to manage your own schedule. Along with the privilege of my flexibility, I need to manage my time efficiently. If I don't do that, I won't have that type of flexibility. But managing your time efficiently is super important because then you can pursue the activities you like, the interests you have. And so managing your time correctly will be highly important, not just in an online school setting, but also in college and later in life. So how does online school differ from traditional school? So one of them is interaction. The interaction is much more different on the online world. Sometimes sentences can be misinterpreted. You can't hear sarcasm in someone else's message. So you're behind a computer, and you really need to be sure of what to say to the other person. You have to be very careful. Location. Online school is very accessible. Like I said, my earliest class is at 9:30, and I wake up right on the dot because it's literally one click away. Rather where traditional school could be really close to you or really far away, and sometimes you may need to wake up 1 hour before to get ready and get on the school bus. Online school, there really is no school bus. It's just it's the internet. It's fast. Um, I also get more time on an online school. I get the privilege of being flexible, and I get the privilege of freedom of being able to do my classes here and there. And so time is really important, and also discipline. Online school forces you to be very disciplined. If you don't have the type of discipline to get your assignments done, then you're gonna fall behind, and your grades are going to drop dramatically. And I've seen a few of my friends do that. They slack off, and then they fall really really behind, and then they start cramming at the end of the semester. So you have to be very disciplined, and you have to be very self motivated. Also, independence. Online school allows you to have a lot of independence. And what I mean by that is the freedom to do classes or homework and assignments anywhere you like. I could be at the airport and still be doing my classes. I could be in bed and doing my classes. So that kind of freedom allows the kind of comfort zone. And to give all of you an example of studying on the go, after skiing, we go eat lunch and I'm on the computer. We're always attending online classes on the ski slopes. Yeah, that kid in the underwear is my brother, working at biology lab. And we took a Eurostar train from Paris to London, and we're still doing homework. And so that's the kind of discipline you need. You need to be very self motivated. You have to do those assignments diligently. Uh, but overall, it's a pretty great lifestyle because even after all the assignments, you're still enjoying the good life. So now we're kind of nearing the end. So I want to hear any questions any of you might have, any thoughts, any concerns. This is the Q&A session part, and I'm gonna have my brother kind of join in here with me to answer some of your questions. So hop right in.
Yeah, if you were wondering, my brother really does wake up on the dot and try, and he all the time he tries to do school in bed. We kind of have to force him out. If we didn't, he would be in bed all day.
So any thoughts, any concerns? So Sally said, what is an example of your daily task assignments? So usually if well, it depends on each day. Sometimes you won't have history assignments, and some days you'll have unit tests. But usually I get at least 3 to 6 assignments per day. Usually on the weekends they kind of let you low on Saturdays, but Fridays they put a huge workload on you. They give you unit tests and exams. So daily tasks and assignments, it really depends on the day. But I know I have 2 English assignments today. Should a kid try homeschooling due to bullying at a public school? All right, so that's a very interesting question. I haven't been bullied, so I can't really say. But each family is different, each kid is different. But I have met people in my school that have gone to George Washington University Online High School because of prior experiences. So I guess you could say probably it could be a plausible choice, but I haven't faced it, so I can't give you a distinctive answer. Would you ever attend a public school? Currently, no. I feel very privileged to be in an online school, to have this kind of flexibility, this kind of freedom and independence. So I don't think I'll be going into any public school anytime soon. But I do plan to go to college. What influenced the decision of starting homeschooling? Well, my brother actually, he went to Montessori school at 3.5 years old, but I started homeschooling ever since birth, so I didn't really have a choice in that kind of say, but we started online schooling because we kind of wanted the high school kind of feel, and we kind of want that school environment to kind of prep us for college. And so we got into online school because of really the environment and the feeling. Yeah, and they kicked him out of Montessori school, so that's one of the
I
reasons.
was way ahead of my time. That's false. I kicked myself out. I was too smart for everyone else.
Expelled.
I'm distracted.
So how do you manage to keep focus and challenge without no teacher looking over your shoulder? So that's a great question. Like I said, you have to be very disciplined, and it really comes naturally. And
It does?
for me, I mean, I don't know about you, but
I don't know about that.
For me, I'm a natural. All right, but it comes pretty naturally for me because if you see your grades drop, and my parents are tiger parents. They're very strict. So if I don't get on top of my assignments and my classes, they will yell at me and they will punish me. So the self motivation really starts in with being disciplined, and really the fear of my parents, and also no kid wants to see their grades drop, and
Yeah,
it's really a horrible
a
thing.
little background on that. And this is different with every program. They all have their own different systems. But with our school, what they do is every Friday they give you what they call a permanent zero. So you could have an A plus throughout the week, but on Friday, if you don't have everything done by Friday at like 5 p.m., your grades will drop to like an F because they give you zeros on everything else. So because your grades drop every Friday, you do feel a lot of pressure to finish all your stuff on time. So even though there's no one sitting there, like a teacher sitting there behind your shoulder and going, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that." When you see on your screen your grades drop every Friday, it is a lot of pressure. So it is a lot of pressure, but it is motivating to get all your work done in time.
And to answer Tiffany's question, is virtual schooling fun? The deadlines are absolutely not fun. All right, but those clubs, the interaction you get, the debate clubs when we're debating, we may disagree with each other, but at the end of the day, we're all friends. So that's always fun, and sometimes we take field trips. I know a few months ago we had a movie night. So virtual schooling is fun, and you get to meet a lot of people. You get to meet a lot of people on an online school from different places. I know a girl who's from, I think, Saudi Arabia, and I know a girl who lives in Russia. So you get a lot of diversity, and it's really fun to meet all these people. Did you have your moments of wanting to go to a public school due to being overwhelmed or wanting to be away from home for a bit? I cannot say that I wanted to go to a public school. I don't think exactly it would be the right fit for me. But I know my brother, as he kind of inched towards the teenager years, he did kind of want his independence. But for me, I don't think public school would be the right choice because I kind of like that flexibility. I like the independence, going to class without changing and just being in your pajamas. I kind of like that lifestyle. So, in a public school, you're kind of stuck in a classroom, and I don't think that would really fit me. One of my boys complained about Google Classroom in New York Corona. Is that they miss the challenge of the other kids and the hectic of a classroom, how they can overcome that stage? Um,
Yeah, I can actually jump in here a bit because when I started, I like to say that I am tech savvy, but oh, stop it! I'm a lot better than you, okay?
uh,
But it is true. All these platforms, they are really hard to get a grasp on, especially in the beginning. I know Google Classroom is not something that we use in our school, but I have experience with that. That is a more difficult platform to use. But one of the benefits of online school is you get exposure to these types of platforms that are really hard to get a grasp of, and I'm sure that if you're in a physical setting, it is easier to do things a lot quicker. So maybe it's a little bit more familiar when you're in person. So really, I think what it will come down to is just time. The more you spend time understanding these platforms and getting used to operating in an online setting, that'll just really help you with the software and everything. So it's really just getting exposure to that. So I think over the next couple weeks, because actually we just did something on COVID-19, but over the next couple weeks, as COVID-19 we start to get a grip on that, we're going to be able to everyone who's on a virtual school for the first time will be able to get a lot more familiar with this.
okay, what is one example of a project you have completed in English, and how much time were you given? So, usually, there are something called a temporary zeros, and these temporary zeros are every day. So each assignment you get, if you don't finish it by the end of the day, you get a temporary zero. But you can always redo those assignments and get a better grade. Permanent zeros, you can't do that. So one of my English projects that I have done, and it comes often, are called media projects. And what you have to do is you have to put in 3 to 4 paragraphs of a topic of your choice, and you have to produce facts, and you have to put it in like a Word doc or PowerPoint or you can make a movie about it. You had to put videos, you had to put sounds, you had to put pictures. So I did one of those, and I chose World War II, Pearl Harbor, and so I put in sounds, and then I put in like short clips. And my grandfather was a little kid, and he kind of experienced some of that World War II scenes. And so I took a video recording of him, and then I put it inside the PowerPoint. And then I also put my voice, like in those history documentaries. They talk about all those stuff with those deep voice. So I did that. That was a really fun experiment and project.
And I of course I want to add my 2 cents, and I have to talk about myself for a little bit always, right? But I actually recently I wrote a persuasive argument on the difference between authenticity and sincerity, right? It's something I had a lot of fun doing. Just to answer your question on the timeline for these types of projects, you have 1 week to complete it before you get a temporary 0, and you have about 2 to 3 weeks before they close it off completely and you get a permanent 0. And now, that sounds, oh, you have so much time to complete any assignment. But here's the thing. Every day you get 1 to 3 assignments on each subject, right? And they just stack up. They never go away. So if you waste a day not doing anything, for the rest of the month, you're gonna be you're gonna have a lot of pressure to complete all that stuff. And I learned this the hard way. And of course, every school is different. All the systems are different. But for our school, even though it seems like you have a lot of time to complete it, you really have to be very, very, very diligent in your time management.
What's the difference between homeschooling and virtual schooling? So my brother and I have been privileged to experience the best of both worlds. So they are very similar. You do get the flexibility, you do get the freedom, but what I would say one big difference is kind of homeschooling, and homeschoolers don't really believe in exams and testing, at least from what I have been taught and experienced. So they don't really believe in exams, but overall, they're very, very similar. You get the freedom and you get the flexibility. Only difference is, kind of the mindset and the
Yeah, and to
personality.
add on to that, for homeschooling, it's not as formal. You get a lot of like mini quizzes and whatnot. But in online school, every assignment comes with a test or an exam or a pop quiz. So every lesson, you have to make sure that you're on top of it and you know everything about it, because you will be quizzed after each and every each assignment. Yeah.
So does going to online school get overwhelming? Yes, it does. When we have semester ends and when we get semester exams, it gets very stressful, very overwhelming. You have to cram. You have to get in all those assignments before the permanent deadline, and so if you don't do that, your grades are going to drop. So sometimes it can get overwhelming when you slack off.
Yeah, but oh, and I like your thank you. No, but to add on to that, it's not like so overwhelming that it's so much more overwhelming than a physical school, right? I think I would say I haven't really been to a public school, but from what I know, it is a pretty competitive program that we're in. Um, but if you make sure that you stay on top of it and that you're motivated to complete things and achieve what you've set as your goals, it's not something that you're going to be up all night every day cramming to complete.
So Miss Sally said, "Do you have live lessons?" Yes. Every Tuesday to Thursday, we have live lessons: English, all the subjects, math, history, physical science, journeys. And at night, we have Chinese class. That's a part of our language course. And if you miss one of those classes, if you miss English or if you miss math, they will deduct points, and those count as like 10% of your grade or 13% of your grade. So you should not miss any, but they give you a chance to perform an exit ticket to kind of get back your grade if you're not available at the time. Um, Milan said, "Do you have the chance to take advanced classes? What about state testing?" So right now, I'm in eighth grade in my online high school, and so in ninth grade, you are able to take advanced classes, for
Right.
example,
So
honors, AP classes.
yeah, so since I'm in more of a high school grade, because my brother is not there yet. He will be very soon. But for regular testing, just the quizzes and exams and interim checkpoints, It is all online, so you don't need to go to a physical place. That being said, you can't cheat or take or look at your notes or anything, because they have built-in cookies and programs. They're gonna catch you, and they know, they use a lot of programs like Turnitin, so they know if you're plagiarizing. So that they're very strict on that. In regard to state testing, for things like AP exams, you have to go to a physical place, of course. So if you're taking any AP courses, you will have to go to a physical testing place. But if it's just in-school testing, just like quizzes, exams, or checkpoints, you do it online.
Is virtual schooling hard? I would say so. Sometimes, usually in the beginning of the semester, they let you go easy. They give you a few assignments, and they don't really go hard. But as you kind of go into the middle of the semester, nearing the end, uh, they do give you a lot of workload, and they do pound you. So I would say beginning of the semester, not that hard, but in the middle and nearing the end, it will get much, much harder. Have there ever been an assignment that has very long to the point where you had to stay up all night? Okay, so like I said, it is very hard in the middle and near the end of the semester. And usually when you're testing for the exams, you could take up like literally all night, and sometimes I take all-nighters. I know my brother has stayed up for like 2 days straight or something. I stayed up till like uh 3
It's what you
4
call
a.m.
motivation, you know what I mean?
I stayed up till like 3 4 a.m. and then woke back up at 6 a.m. because those exams are you need to cram for them, and those deadlines are pretty stressful. So it is pretty hard. Have there ever been an assignment that has? Oh wait, okay. What is average class size? So usually it will be about
15 to 20,
yeah.
20 kids, which is not a lot. I don't think so. Comparatively, I think it's a pretty small class size, right? You can have as little as 10 to 15 kids in any class. The most I've ever seen is like maybe 25 kids in a class. So I think that is still a pretty small class size. So that's like a good thing and a bad thing, because the teacher is able to provide personalized feedback and things like that during the class, and they can really help you individually. Um, uh, that it also means that you can't slack off during class. If you're on a different web page, or you're not really focused, they will kick you out of the class without any warning. So yeah, you do have to make sure that you are focused in class.
And is Julian Alexander in high school or middle school? Okay, so the system that our school has is that eighth graders can apply, and they have this kind of like tying system to ninth grade. So I'm in eighth grade. Do they give you an extracurricular class for SAT or ACT?
They do have well, for it, of course it depends on where you live and what program you're using. For our program, I do believe they have over the summer a special program for test prep, specifically towards that. And I think you mentioned the Journeys class. They do have a lot of resources they give you in your Journeys class. If you're attending the same program as us, they do give you a lot of resources and ways you can prepare for that. So yeah, they do.
How long does each class take? 1 hour. That's supposed that is what it is. But sometimes history can go up to like an hour and 15 minutes. I saw a video where a guy was about to cheat on a test on his computer, and he was being recorded. Do you actually get recorded during tests? So they do auto save your work. I don't know if they record, but they
generally they don't record you by your web camera. I mean, at least if they do, I have no idea. They do.
That'd be high tech.
It would be really high. But they do monitor what you submit, and they do monitor how you take the tests. So I mean, I would never cheat on something like that, because you're probably gonna get caught if you try anything.
Do you get to choose your class schedules? Not really. You have classes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. you can't rearrange
Well,
them.
actually, it depends on which courses you take, right? Because there's a
Yeah.
course selection.
Yeah.
So each course is at a different time, and they can't really change that individually. So if your math class is on Tuesday at 10 a.m., then that's what it's going to be for that course. You can't change that. However, they do record every session. So if you can't make that day, you can record. You can watch the recording, and then you do have to submit an exit ticket, which is sort of like a short essay or answering a bunch of questions, just to make sure the teacher knows you actually watched the recording to get the necessary points.
If a person cheats in your class, do they get kicked out or like a 3-strike, then you're out type of system? I'm not sure. I've never been kicked out before.
Yeah,
But
there's not. I mean, we haven't really seen anyone get kicked out, thank God. We have not gotten kicked out. But there's no streaks. There's no 3 strikes. If they find you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, you get
yeah.
kicked out.
This is a really silly question, but do you guys get dress coded? Okay, so in classes, you don't usually turn on your video camera, so you could be in your pajamas. So there is no dress code, and there's really no way.
Yeah,
they
that's
can
why
really
he likes
enforce it.
online school so much. He wakes up and goes to class in his pajamas.
Saying. Do you guys get elective classes? And if you do, what are some examples? So I think my brother can answer this because I'm in 8th grade, so it's more
Yeah, so
his grade.
I think usually kids in our program take electives starting 10th grade. However, you can take elective classes. They do have classes for electives. I have not explored too much yet. But from what I've seen, they have entrepreneurial classes. They have a lot of tech classes. I think a lot of coding stuff. I think they even have one on biotech, which is really cool. So they have a really wide variety um, of electives you can take. I know the one I'm probably most interested in is the entrepreneurial one, or maybe an economics one. But what we're going to be what we've been accepted into recently is the summer program. So as you know, we attend the George Washington University online high school. It's their little like sub program that they offer, and they offer a summer program on campus. So that's what we're going to be doing for this summer. Along with a couple of other things. But my brother's taking election politics. He's taking a summer immersion program. So that's 2 weeks. You stay on campus, you go to Capitol Hill, you get to meet politicians, you get to interact, you learn about it. I'm doing the entrepreneurial one. So again, 2 weeks over the summer, I stay on class, and you get like lectures from the professor and whatnot. And it's pretty cool. And by the way, this is George Washington University, right? So that's their pre-college
Yeah, you will be
program.
on campus.
Yeah,
in
so
DC.
that's not online. Like I said, our program is a program that's offered by George Washington University. So they offer that on campus, which is really cool.
Do you guys have gym class? I saw something where gym coach gets this list of exercise to the students. So we don't have gym class, but there is an exercise club. I'm not enrolled in that, but I know my math teacher runs the exercise club, and I guess you get a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, and you basically track your exercise. So I guess that's pretty cool. And they run like marathons together on field trips. So
Yeah, for us, we do a lot of extracurriculars. So like tennis, that's pretty strenuous. Believe it or not, chess is you wouldn't think so, but it is actually an exercise. Your heart gets going pretty quickly. It sounds weird. Is chess hard? A little off topic, but I wouldn't say it's that hard to learn chess. Uh, I mean, you get to the higher levels. It is hard. But it really depends on where you are. I mean, it's a really fun game. So if you're interested in learning it, I know my brother and I are working on a chess class that we're going to be enrolling pretty soon. But no, it's not super hard. It's not something that's like unapproachable unless you're a genius or something.
when do you start and end school month to month? So I know that the end of school ends in this year ends in June 19th, and then you get the summer off, and then I think they start back in September. So yeah.
Yeah, and you get pretty much you get most of the you get most of like the conventional like summer break, spring break, which we did not get homeschooling. That being said, it's not like we actually have a break. Our parents make sure we have plenty of things to do. You know, there's never a shortage of things to do. But yeah, yeah.
So any last questions, concerns? Yes, we do have Christmas break. We have spring break, we have Christmas break, we have summer break, and we have break on Independence Day, President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yeah, so most of
So
like the regular school breaks
yeah.
we have those. So yeah, in that regard, it's pretty similar to a conventional school.
Summer break. Well, we enrolled in the summer program with the George Washington University. That's what we're doing. And I know some other people can take internships or uh,
And yeah, and
yeah, camps.
like I said, they also have a program, I believe, for test prep like the SAT and ACT. So that's something that some students I know are looking into. If anyone has any more questions, I know we've been talking a lot, right?
All right, so I think we're gonna move ahead here. Oh, God, forgot to add him. All right. All right. So, any final thoughts? Any last concerns? Please contact us with any feedback you may have. Tell us what you like about the class, what you learned, what you might want to work in future classes. I know we have a lot more exciting content coming up in 2020, and I know that on April 2nd we have this critical thinking, our first class in our critical thinking series called "Climate Change: Destiny or Threat," and we will analyze and dissect this complex issue to help us better understand the world, and we'll basically give you guys tools and structures to create an opinion for yourselves. And I know a lot of the media out there trying to implement their own opinions into other people, but we're going to come up with our own conclusions and create a resolution. And we're going to answer the question: is climate change the most existential threat facing humanity? So we're going to think outside of the box, look at all perspectives. So come join us for some fun, and it will be on April 2nd at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And
Yeah, of course the polar bear looks sad. The world around him is melting, right? That's what I'm just joking. We're gonna find out. But yeah, so that's our next class. Um, I in the chat I just posted a link to our YouTube channel, so you can take a look at any of our previous physical classes that we posted up there. I know we just did a webinar on COVID-19. We posted a recording link of that. It's not too long. It's about 20-30 minutes. So if you're interested in finding out more about COVID-19 and the possible effects of it, go check that out. I know by now it's a little bit outdated with all the new numbers coming in. Everyone's saying so many different things. So I bet it's like a fossil right now. But if you're interested in finding out what was happening on that day with COVID-19, be sure to check that out.
so our contact is skaiorg@yahoo.com. And if you want to get more information about this climate change series or to sign up, please visit our website, skaiorg.com. And thank you guys for joining us, and we hope to see you all soon.